that's a really hard question to answer, because some people, I would never say that being able to draw is a talent. It is a skill that can be learned. But thinking like an artist and being aware of what you're seeing and how to interpret that as art is oftentimes what people view as, I think that's where maybe where the talent comes in, is just the way that you view the world is going to affect the way that you create anything. So with that in mind, I would say that anybody who wants to do art needs to essentially put in the time and effort to learn the skill, and put in the time and effort to try and develop the way of thinking behind it. Understanding why things work and why characters are appealing and why backgrounds are appealing and why colors harmonize well together, and having to understand all of that is really important. So if you want to be an artist, expect to be a learner more than a draftsman. Like I said, anybody can learn to draw, but not everybody knows how to think about it. And if you're not hungry for learning, if you're not hungry for studying the subject matter of the time period of the film that you're working on, the people groups of the people of the films you'll work on, the costume choices, of the time period, there's so much content, the history of the culture that you're dealing with, developing a history for a culture if they've never been made or if they've never existed. So it's a lot more about the thinking, and it's a lot more about the places where you draw inspiration and knowing why you're making those decisions that ultimately makes somebody who knows how to draw well draw effectively and differently and new, and then they will become a successful artist because of it, because they're doing something that is based in stuff that they've studied, but then can then turn it somehow to make it interesting and new. So being an artist isn't, I guess ultimately it comes down to being an artist isn't a lazy job. It's, if you want to draw, great, draw, by all means, have fun. But if you want to be an artist that gets paid for being an artist, be a student forever. Because ultimately that's the thing that's going to set you apart. That experimentation, that struggle, that desire for something different, the getting bored with things that are already done, or the things that you've created so often that you can't get stuck in one style, you can't get stuck in one genre, you can't get stuck, because the reality is that there's so much to learn from, that hunger to learn is going to be the thing that ultimately sets you apart. So to encourage anybody who would want to be an artist, I would say learn how to learn first, and then if art continues to be the thing that you're most hungry about, then pursue that, because it is difficult. But at the same time, if you do fall in love with the drawing and interpreting those things that you've learned as well, then by all means, you're well on your way to becoming a great artist who will be successful.